Alright, boom. So I'm returning for another rare case of Alex Lamont, aka Lemsy, doing up BareFace, where I kind of just share some of the thoughts and ideas that are going on in my mental staircase. And yeah, this is me kind of just coming back to do one of these videos again. I think I did five in total before, where I was kind of just experimenting what it's like to talk, just talk outwardly, and just see what comes out at those times, whatever I'm focusing on. So for anyone who hasn't seen any of them, and this is number one for you, because really it feels like number one for me again, I will reintroduce what this is and why I'm doing it. Some of my influences as well when it comes to me just talking as well, and I guess that will tie into why I'm doing it in the way that I'm doing it as well. And then I'll give like just a brief uh, synopsis, if that's the right word, just a brief summary actually of some of the things that are coming up soon that I'd love for you lot to look out for, and just maybe one or two significant changes that have happened. But as I do more, we can break some of those down and find the details. So, who am I? What is this? Why am I doing this? I am an artist, a musician, or a music artist, I should say, a creative, someone who really enjoys expression through creative means and creative arts, whether that's visual art. I do like I like animation and cartoons a lot. I don't know if it's because they get to explore human imagination a lot more. Like recently, I never grew up watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, so I've just been finishing that series, and I'm on The Legend of Korra in the last season, and I've been loving it. Like I love stuff like that a lot. It just gets me going. But aside from that, I do music. I am a rapper, also sometimes spoken word artist under the guise of Lemzy. That's Lemzi. I've been performing, writing, and recording for a very long time now. Probably for I would say full time since 2016. So that's a good just over 8 years that we're talking about. Where I was made redundant from my last what I call conventional job, where I was a legal assistant. So I studied law of criminology at the University of Manchester between 2010 to 2013. Graduated with my 2-1, whoop, and I just knew that it wasn't the career path for me. I tried a few different things, whether it was work experiences, being in certain offices, doing this legal assistant role, and it just finally came to a head where I think God said to me, bro, look, be honest with yourself, and is this who you truly are? Yes, it's something that's been advised to you from school age, especially because I went to a private school, so there was a lot of endorsement for things like legal qualifications or medical backgrounds, or even just going to university in the first place. And I don't regret that at all. I think I just had it had such an impact on me at that kind of stage of life between me being around 21 to 24, where post graduating, I was like, raw, I really don't know exactly what I want to do, but I know I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this because I was a legal assistant. I worked in an accountancy firm for like 8 weeks before they got rid of me. I also worked with my dad for a little bit as an e-commerce supervisor. So all of these are very much like desk jobs, which I don't shit on desk jobs or 9 to 5s or anything like that because each to own. But I just remember vividly feeling like this isn't me. And even the people who are more senior than me, just looking and thinking, I don't even want to emulate what you lot are doing. And again, there's no disrespect to anybody who's doing senior roles in law firms or being partners of law firms and stuff like that. But I couldn't put myself in those shoes and really see the value for myself. And all that time simultaneously I've been doing music and getting better at it. And as soon as I kind of got booted out of the law firm, like I'd been running around doing open mics anyway, but I decided, you know what, this is my time to just commit to this journey. And naively, my whole thing was, yeah, just give me a few months. This is back in 2016. Give me a few months. I'll make sure that the music's dope. I'll have it out, and then boom, I could blow from there. And yeah, real life comes at you fast. So, just to quickly surmise what the last 8 years have been like, as I said, there's a lot of writing, a lot of recording, and a lot of community engagement, is what I'd say, rather than community work, because I've done both. I always put myself being a music artist as the center point of whatever I'm doing, just because I feel like that's what people have gravitated towards the most. And then from there, it's me as a character and what else I might be able to bring to a space. So I used to do loads of different workshops. A lot of them focused around writing lyrics, but a lot of that turned into almost mentoring for young people, whether it was specifically about the music they listen to, because every young person listens to drill, and just trying to expand that for them, or even just like analyze it a little differently to how they might listen to the music themselves. And then from there, it might become mentoring, as I said, where we just talk about life and what's going on and what affects you as a 12, 13, 14, or whatever year old you might have been, kind of thing. So that was one of the things that I was doing under a term called Wealth Esteem. Also have a, we call it a community. It's a creative community called Infax, where me and a good friend of mine called Amelia Poams, who I'm sure in all of these videos you're going to hear her name a lot if you haven't watched some of the previous ones. That's one of my codies. We started Infax in 2019. That's just a space where artists have been able to perform, been able to develop, been able to network, been able to meet new people, been able to partner with different people in and outside or who are of the industry as well. That's another thing I'll get into at some point. But Infax has been a very staple thing within my life for the last 5 years now as well. So we've managed to get through pandemics. So we managed to be as resourceful as we can, just finding spaces that work for the new-ish things that we're doing, and really just create space. That's really what Infax is for. Then on top of that, I was. So for anyone who hasn't seen some of the previous Bare Faces, I implore you to watch, I think it's number two and number three. Number two gives you an idea of Spoke. And Spoke is the music and mindfulness app that I was the lead artist and one of the founding team members of. We did a lot. We won awards. We actually went to America. I know some of the other team members went to other parts of the world. Like, it is an international brand that serves people directly when it comes to their mental and emotional well-being through the medium of music and spoken word. That's exactly what it does. So if you haven't downloaded Spoke, please do. That was something I was very much fully focused on for a while, for 4 years, I'd say. And then, yeah, earlier this year is where the team kind of, and I also separated myself. And now I'm in a space where, cool, music is once again my primary focus, but I'm also about to start a master's course in creative entrepreneurship down at a place called London College of Contemporary Music. So that's a bit of a background of just who I am and what I do. And I know I've missed bare stuff. I know I've missed a lot of stuff, but I'm hoping that along the course of some of these videos, you might just, more things will be revealed, and you might even go back and see some of the stuff that I may have done in the past as well. But yeah, why am I doing it? Because I don't need to. Like, I don't need to sit here and say a bunch of stuff, and you don't need to listen to me talking and saying a bunch of stuff. So why am I doing it? Two primary reasons. Number one, when it comes to being a creative in 2024 and beyond, and in recent years, it feels like there's there's almost more of an impetus for you to need to do something outside of your dominant discipline. So my dominant discipline is writing words, really and truly. Writing and speaking words. I can do that quite proficiently, and I have been doing it for years. And the reason I say writing words is because it's beyond just rapping and writing bars. Like, yes, I do that very, very well, but writing, I can script write, I can do some copy, I can write poetry, as I said, journal entries, all that kind of stuff. My newsletter that goes out every week, etc. So writing is my dominant discipline. But then there's always this conversation around, yo, what's your social media saying? What's your TikTok saying? What's your Insta saying? Well, what's all of this? Everything, what's it saying, kind of thing. And I'm 32, and not that my age is super relevant, but the reason I say that is because I've seen them all. Like, I've been there when it was Bebo and MySpace and High Five, and I've seen Facebook at the beginning, Twitter at the beginning, all of these things. So like, I've grown alongside them, or they've grown alongside me, whichever way around. And I just know they're not my favorite thing in the world at all. They're a tool that can be used to a lot of people's benefit. But the way I revere all of them is slightly different. And my favorite one, in terms of entertainment value and even time back kind of value, so return on investment in that sense, is YouTube. And that's why these are going on YouTube more than me thinking about TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or X or any of those things, just because for me, Insta is where you almost get like final product from me, or maybe stuff in the stories. But I don't think about Instagram very, very much other than, oh yeah, I need to post something. I don't go through loads of people's stuff all the time. When I see stuff that I like, I engage, I like, I comment, I do all that stuff. Same thing on TikTok, where for me that's just for play. I just play over there and have fun and everything. But YouTube, I actually let that run. I was looking at my screen time the other day, and YouTube takes up way too much time. But I actually do enjoy this platform for what it gives me and some of the people. So some of the people who I watch, let's say it's in music, that might be like HC podcast or Chucky Poet, etc. Whoever's on there, um, Poet, not Poet, sorry, Posty when he does Thoughts on a Cully from GRM Daily. On the American side, you got people like Justin Sky, Justin Hunt, no Professor Sky, sorry, Justin Hunt, Rob Markman, the bigger picture with Elliot Wilson, DJ Head, and Jeremy Hecht. Even sometimes the Joe Budden podcast, I still tap into that. And there's a few other things when it comes to like music and how people talk about music from both here and across the pond primarily. Then there's other stuff like news and politics, or TLDR. That's one platform that I'd recommend to everyone in the UK. They break down things so well. Even Gary Stevenson, I had his book called The Trading Game. Great if you want to know basic economic stuff. Like, I'm not into economics at all, but he talks about the wealth gap and wealth disparity and how that impacts us as a society. So he's definitely someone to check out. And then even just, yeah, there's other people as well, like sports and entertainment. I love football. Like, I'm a big Spurs fan, so I will watch stuff like DR Sports with Don Robbie, Expressions, some of those lot just talking about what they're passionate about, which is their football teams. And it's great because that's an economy in itself, which I think is dope. So this is why I'm doing it in this way as well. I feel like having time, space, and you probably don't know, this is my bedroom. Like, I can just do it in here, lay my thoughts out, and in a format, do it in a format that I'm happy with as well. I don't really like having to think, oh, I have to segment this into 30 seconds so then people on TikTok will like it, etc. It's like some people are sick at that. I'm just not. I'm very good at, let me sit down and let me talk to you kind of thing. So hence why I'm doing it in this format, and hopefully you will enjoy this format. Um, it ties me to the other thing that I was gonna say near the beginning, in terms of how I'm also doing this, which is I'm doing this, and it's called BareFace because, as I said, right now I'm in my room. I've literally just got changed, um, and I'm not really editing. Like, I'm gonna speak and then kind of upload. There's another guy called Alistair Gould who does football as well, and literally, I don't even think he makes thumbnails. It's just his face every time, and he just plays, he talks, and then it's off. So that's kind of how I'm approaching this as well, because it's not my dominant or primary. It's not my primary medium, but it is something I think is important, just so then I can articulate myself beyond just the music. Okay, so that's what this is, who I am, and I guess a bit of why I'm doing it as well. I'm gonna try and keep these to a decent length so they don't go on for too long. But just some of the stuff that I want to just mention, just so then like going forward you have an idea about what I might be talking about. I tend to talk about what I'm up to more than anything. So like, I have some big announcements when it comes to live shows coming up. I actually have one this week with Leisha. Those kind of things will also go in my newsletter, but this is just a way of talking about maybe the process of how they're happening, or why they're happening, or what it takes to put it on, because I'm very much a DIY artist. So what that means, like, what does it mean to be a DIY artist, which in my head is almost separate from independent artists sometimes, because independent artists, though they may not be signed to a record label, they may have a publishing deal or may have some other kind of distribution deal or something like that. So there's something that enables them to do what they're doing more. Whereas as a DIY artist, it's me and my dad, not even occasionally, my dad, and then Starboard, who is a very, very new management team. And we kind of just try and push me further to do whatever I'm doing. Um, so yeah, a lot about what I'm doing. I talk a little bit about state of the culture as well, maybe stuff that I've seen or thought about where I think this is worth talking about, like how Atlantic Records is kind of shifting with Lucian and his son now changing in ownership for, I think, well, for Atlantic, and how that might affect just the state of what's going on, the whole Drake and Kendrick thing, and how impactful that could be when it comes to the next tier of artists and the next concepts that people are going to start talking about. Um, Even over here, like what's going on with R&B? Like, why don't we love R&B in the UK as much as we should? Just things like that I'll talk about when I feel like they're relevant. And then yeah, if there's anything else that feels like needs to be spoken, I'll do so. But for now, I'm probably just gonna leave it here. I've been sitting here speaking enough, and I do have to get going. As I said, I am a musician. I'm an artist. I do a lot more than that. I like to engage with people. So please do, yeah, drop your comments, share it if you want to share it, but more so just drop your comments because I feel like it gives me more of an idea of who actually gives a heck about watching this kind of stuff and what can be done that's a bit better maybe next time. And we'll just keep going on and on and on and on. So yeah, man, thank you a lot if you tuned in, like, subscribe, all of that stuff. I will have new music very, very soon as well. And we'll just keep going from there. There's